What's happening, bass players? Ryan here from BassMatter.com, taking you through the core bass learning program. In this lesson, we're going to investigate Nashville numbers and how to play by the chords that go along with them, and we're going to give you a pretty sweet practicing exercise to be able to master this tool very quickly. Let's get to work. Numbers. Playing by scale degrees, playing by the interval, playing by the chord identifier. You've probably heard it already. We're going to play the 2 chord, the 5 chord, and the 1 chord. What the heck are they talking about, okay? For this lesson to make a lot of sense, and especially if you're jumping in partially into the series here and you haven't got a good chance to go through some of the previous support material that we've covered, I'd like you to make sure that you have a really good understanding of your notes on your fretboard. Also make sure you've gone through the major and the minor scales. Make sure you have had the opportunity to review triads. Make sure you've gone through the diatonic order video. And also our most recent video was on modes, an introduction to modes. This is going to be the foundational information needed for you to really get a good grasp on the basics of chord theory and how it relates to the music that we play today. Now, let's recap those things real quick here. C major scale, okay? C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Let's play that same scale now on one string using our diatonic interval measurement system, okay? So I pick my first note, I take a whole step, then a whole step, then a half step, then a whole step, then a whole, then a whole, then a half, okay? That is our measurement of our diatonic system that specifies how far we go from one note to the next. We give all of those particular actions numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? Those numbers represent the scale degrees, and each number has a predetermined tonality to it, major, minor, or diminished. That was the other portion of the diatonic order. 1s are major, 2s are minor, 3s are minor, 4s are major, 5s are major, 6s are minor, 7s are diminished, and then our octave, okay? Now, if we look at this from the ground up, one of the things that I challenged you to do before was play your triads going all the way up and down the fretboard using your using your inversions of the triads. Now let's start using what I call the basics of a diatonic climb. We're going to play our triads going all the way up the fretboard through the entire major scale and making sure that we're applying the appropriate tonal triad or tonality triad, major, minor, or diminished, to the right number. So 1s are major, 2s are minor, 3s are minor, 4s are major, 5s are major, 6s are minor, 7s are diminished, and our octave. Now, 7s are diminished only on the triad. We'll talk about 7 chords in a future video where we start defining a major 7 versus a minor 7 versus a minor 7 flat 5, or also half diminished or also full diminished. We'll talk about those later, but for now we're referring to triads. So, on the website, there's a great free resource called Diatonic Climbs, and there are some piano tracks that I've designed to accompany this particular practice system. They're on the fretboard mastery portion of the practice tools version of the website. And of course, if the website changes, I certainly have no intentions of taking this down, and I want to continue to refer to them as diatonic climb exercises from here on out and through future revisions of the website. So you should still be able to have access to them. I used a great app to make these backing tracks. This one's called ChordBot Pro. It's available for iOS devices and for Android devices. You're going to want to check it out. It's a great, great tool. So I'm going to play for you real quick here what this is. Now, of course, I have my 1, which is a C major chord or C major triad, then a D minor, then an E minor, then an F major, then a G major, then an A minor, then a B diminished triad, and then our C. Let me go ahead and play that for you. minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, C major. Okay? That is going to be the basics of the diatonic climb using triads going through the entire key of C, okay? On the website, there are 3 versions for now. I'm going to be adding more, but as of right now, there are 3 versions of the C major diatonic climb, the key of C diatonic climb, one at 60 beats per minute, one at 80, and one at 120 beats per minute. There's also a master diatonic climb track that covers all of the keys on your bass, and it goes through all of them in 6 minutes. So you should have, in theory, the ability to cover all of the keys, playing all of the diatonic climbs in under 6 minutes. It is an amazing exercise. It's great for theory. It's great for technique and conditioning. It's great for learning your notes on the fretboard. It is an amazing practice tool. I definitely recommend you explore that. Now, let's take this to the whole next level. Grab your modes chart, okay? This is, of course, on the website, totally free. And as you notice, there is a particular shape that is associated with each number. Number 1 is the Ionian mode, and as you've probably noticed by now, it is the same as our C major scale, okay? Then we go to the number 2, and that's the Dorian, okay? We look at our key of C, our second note is D. Now I'm going to play my D Dorian scale. 3 is going to be Phrygian. 4 is Lydian. 5 is Mixolydian. 6 is Aeolian. 7 is Locrian. And then back to our octave. Now I should be able to get through all of these in the diatonic climbs here using these diatonic tracks to be able to explore this. Here we go. D Dorian, E Phrygian, F Lydian, G Mixolydian, A Aeolian, B Locrian, and then my C major. And then back over again, okay? It's a great climb. It's a great tool to get you expanding all up and down the fretboard. That is the diatonic climb, okay? We're going to continue to unpack this particular practice method here of doing diatonic climbs up and down the fretboard to help us continue to explore all the notes on our fretboard, get them memorized, also get some really good chops in using all of our individual fingers in our left hand, good alternating with my right hand, which of course I'm still guilty of finding my preferred fingers, so I'm still trying to develop that myself all the time. And it's a great theory process. And so when somebody says we're going to be playing in the key of C, okay, and we're going to be playing a 2-5-1 chord progression. Well, if they're playing 2-5-1, if I look at my C major scale, the number 2 is D, and 2s are minor. So in theory, and of course these rules are not hard and fast, songwriters have the opportunity to bend these rules to produce different sounds, but oftentimes for a basic foundation, a 2 chord is minor, okay? And so it'd be a D minor. If they were saying in the key of C, we're gonna play 2-5-1, the first chord's 2, and it's a D minor. Now the next one's going to be the 5, and that's G, and G is going to be a major chord. I'm playing the 7 right now, but we have a nice 7 sound. And then our 1 is going to be our C major. Okay? So as far as how that particular chord progression would sound on a potential rhythm guitar side, we'd have a 2, 1, or 5, 1, 2, 5, 1, and then for the bass line, we would have our D, D, G, 1, 2, 1, or 5, 1. So we have a lot of different ways we can start jamming with a chord progression like that right away, okay? Now, to recap this, grab the modes chart, okay? Go to the website, go to the fretboard mastery section, make sure you grab the Diatonic climb tracks on there. They're totally free. Start jamming to them right away and start practicing playing your C major scale on one string going all the way up and then playing the appropriate triad with the number, okay? And then see if you can start getting all of your modes into it. As you start climbing up the fretboard, you can start getting the different modes played out of it, and you can start hearing all the different sounds that the modes start to create. And then what we'll do is we'll start looking at this more in depth and figuring out how we can take these particular shapes and make the rest of our 7 chords out of all of them. Well, not all of them, but the popular ones out there, okay? This is a great, great practice tool, guys. I really hope that you find this very powerful and very functional for you. Lots of light bulbs going off. It's going to be a great exercise for you. So make sure you stay tuned for our next lesson, which is going to be a continued conversation on this theory right here and starting to identify our 7 chords and start making sense of what a 7 chord is and how we use the dots of the modes to identify our 7 chords and figuring out what the difference is between a major 7 and a dominant 7 and a diminished 7 and a minor 7 flat 5 or a half diminished, and what all of those things mean, and start getting you a good idea of chord understanding so you can use the appropriate numbers to start playing correctly and really start jumping off of that root note there. Guys, this is Ryan here from BassMatter.com signing off. Thrilled that you're here. Please find us online. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google+. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. We're going to continue to produce the highest quality content that we can to make sure that your bass playing and your growth as a musician is influenced, is supported, and is also encouraged, guys. We'll see you at the next lesson. Stay tuned, and we'll catch up with you next time. Ryan signing off.